In honor of Domestic Violence Month, I decided to go ahead and make this video. One of the roughest times of my life, I will have to admit, is actually during Domestic Violence Month. I can't tell you how many pamphlets I've had to read. I can't tell you how many commercials I've watched, and I cannot tell you how many speeches I've had to endure. And all of them pretty much diluted, all of them very generic. So what I wanted to do is share with you and expose a side of domestic violence and abuse on a more personal level. I want to share with you what it is to be physically and verbally abused. You see, I don't think a lot of people understand exactly what abuse entails. I've heard time and time again, just walk away. And I wish it was that easy to simply walk away. Some people ask, why don't we get help? Can I tell you that being abused is one of the most humiliating things that a person has to endure? It's one of the most embarrassing things that we have to face. And we hide in the shadows in hopes that no one would ever discover our hideous little secret. So we keep it from our friends and our family. I can recall how badly I wanted to share with my parents what was going on, because they have always protected me as a child. They always came to my rescue. But I was so ashamed that I couldn't tell them. After all, what would they think of me? So we endure it on our own. Now, why don't we just walk away? I guess we could if we had just woke up one morning and decided to be in an abusive relationship, but that's not the way it works. You see, there's so much more involved. Usually when a person gets enwrapped within one of these very hostile, very violent relationships, it normally doesn't start out that way. There's no precursor, there's no warnings. It starts out with it being so small, minute, and very inconspicuous. Then the anger gets worse and the jealousy becomes out of control. And next thing you know, you're dealing with such a monstrous relationship that's spiraling out of control. Why don't they just walk away? Why don't they just leave their circumstance? When you've experienced getting beaten literally to a pulp, when you've experienced bleeding and feeling such excruciating pain, where you're not even quite sure whether you're going to survive or not. When you've been choked out so badly, where you're zoning in and out of consciousness, where you can't breathe, when you don't know if this is gonna be the day that you actually take your last and final breath, when you've experienced that, and you experience it day in and day out, you know, it makes a world of a difference whether or not it's really that simple to just walk away. And then when you add children into the mix, when you no longer just have yourself to think about. You see, I know what my husband's capable of. I've seen him up close and personal. I know just how crazy and psychotic and twisted he is, and I know what he's willing and capable of doing. I don't think he says these things just to say them. I know if I was ever to try to get away, he would find me. And he would make me pay. And that's fine. You know what? I probably could deal with that if it was just me. But when you bring my children into the picture, my innocent, loving children, I can't bear the thought of something happening to my children. And because of this, I just don't have courage enough to simply walk away.